connections might get you in the door, but it won't keep you there. And if you haven't prepared, you'll suck. Vic McNonia. Hey, welcome to the 10-Minute Sales Talk with Terry Cameron. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This is episode 4. We're going to talk about the business inside the business. Before we get started, I want to remind you, hit me up on my email, 10-minute sales talk at hot.rr.com. That's the number 10, sales talk at hot.rr.com. Let's get started. I'm going to show my age a little bit, but back in the day, I'm sure some of you may remember this, there was a financial company called E.F. Hutton. And their commercial, I guess their slogan was, when E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen. And that's a good rule to live by. If there's people out there that are doing this already, that you know, that you don't know, but are successful, or at least seem to be successful, you need to learn by them. Listen to them. I've had the opportunity to be around a lot of very smart, influential business leaders. And they taught me a lot. I'm going to pass it on to you. So what I mean by a business inside a business is pretty much what a salesperson does. The dealership pays for the building. They pay for the product. They pay the phone bill, the electric bill. They keep the secretaries there. They do the mail. All the postage is taken care of. They even provide most of the customers. All you have to do is run your business the way you think it should be run. The better you run it, the more money you make. But you need to know this, you're not on your own. You're not out on an island. You have management. You have me. You have YouTube. You have trainers all over the place that are willing to help you. Believe it or not, none of us are special. We all are saying the same thing. We just happen to use different words and have different levels of experience. So that's the good news of the business. The bad news, well, it is a business. And it's either going to be market driven or it's going to be management driven. What I mean by that, if you're going to come to work instead of come to work to wait, good luck. If it's raining, if it's between pay periods, if the government has shut down, you're at the mercy of whatever walks in the door. That's not a good place to be. Those folks come in to buy the car. They're just the ones that aren't prepared to buy the car yet. The statistic is anywhere from 16 to 20% of the people walking in that front door, a fresh up we call them, can buy a car and will buy a car. Boy, that's not the way I want to spend my day, waiting for those folks. Or you could be market driven, where you spend the time calling your customers, following up with your customers, sold and unsold, letting them know where you are, what you're doing, offering assistance. I have to warn you though, it's a short life in the car business if all you do is call your customers, friends, and referrals and ask them for something. What I mean by that is asking them for referrals, asking them to buy another car. That's too much to ask for them. What you need to do is call them just to check and see if they need some help. That's all. Keep your name in front of them. That's the advertising. You're marketing to your customers, just like major corporations do. They're not trying to sell anything. They're just trying to keep their name out there. So when you are in the market, that's the name that comes to mind. Besides, if that's what you're calling them for, good luck with them answering the phone the next time you call. I heard on other podcasts that customers will treat you bad. I don't believe that's the truth. I don't think that's anywhere near the truth. That is, unless, of course, you're going to wait for that customer to walk in the door that's never met you before. That's a tough life. I would say anywhere from 85 to 95% of all the customers you're going to deal with are going to be natural buyers. They're going to be good people. They're not the assholes that we're talking about and we're afraid to work with. So if only 15% or less of those are going to be the people you're dealing with, let's not waste our time training on them. I do need to tell you this, though. If you get through to those customers, those asshole customers, they turn out to be some of your best customers. They pay more, they'll visit more, and they'll refer more. They'll even spend a lot of time in your service department. We like to call them platinum customers, the ones that spend all their money at the dealership. You can spearhead that whole thing by just working with them and putting up with them until it's time for them to buy. So inside your business, you need to know the numbers. You need to know who your best customers are, where they're coming from, how much time you spend with them, and so forth. I have a spreadsheet that I'm willing to send you. Just ask for it in my email and I'll forward it to you. But it'll keep track of all of the customers that you have as far as the numbers go. How many opportunities you had. Opportunities are fresh ups, referrals, B-backs. B-backs are people that were here before, didn't buy a car, and because you followed up and did such a good job, they came back. Phone customers, internet customers. It'll let you know all of your opportunities and what you did with them. It'll keep track of how many appointments that you scheduled, how many of them showed, and how many of them sold. And if you're in the car business, it's going to keep track of your presentations, your demonstrations, your write-ups. You know, how many people you present figures to where they get the opportunity to make a decision on whether or not they can and will purchase the car. It'll keep track of how many people you've sold. What I mean by sold is they said yes, but for some reason they didn't buy. Could be credit, could be payment, could be other things. And then how many people you delivered. Delivered means they are busting bugs. They've bought the car, they've taken the car off the lot, and they are driving down the street. When you know all those things, you're able to keep track of where you are and where you're going. And after about 90 days of doing this religiously, and I mean you count everybody. If a customer comes onto the lot and you get into any conversation about purchasing a car, leasing a car, that has to count. You count them all. You count every single one of them. Eventually, you'll know your closing percentage. I know salespeople that are doing this, and their closing percentages are anywhere from 40 to 60%. Imagine that. 10 customers, and you sell 4 to 6 of them. Imagine talking to 20 of those customers in a week. 20, that's all, in a week. Now you're talking about 10 sales in a week. 40 in a month. A friend of mine by the name of Joe Verdi says if that sounds too high, just cut it in half. 20. If you're doing things right and you're selling 20 cars a month, you're making 6 figures. I don't care what you sell. You're making 6 figures. And eventually, that's all you're going to have to do is market yourself to those same people over and over again. Remember, this is a business inside the business. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. You come to work. You get there, you have a game plan. Nothing should keep you from following up with your customers, sending your emails out, even leaving the lot to go prospect other places. Nothing should keep you from doing that. Now, inside this business, you have other people working with you. You need to make sure you take care of them. You have the receptionist. She's going to take your phone calls, and she is the first impression that the customer gets whenever they call in. So make sure you take care of her. She'll make sure your customers are all directed to you. You have make-ready people, porters, lot people. You need to make sure you take care of them. They're all inside your business. Heck, a pizza here and there, some donuts in the morning, or sometimes just a good old thank you and a pat on the back whenever they take care of a customer for you. Take care of them, they'll take care of you. Remember, it's a business. You get paid commission, and if you don't get paid commission, then you're getting paid a salary and bonuses for the number of units you sell. Either way, it's commission. Whatever you do, don't become one of those old school guys. Don't come into the business selling 10 cars and 10 years later continue to sell 10 cars. Boy, what a waste. Well, that's going to be it for this week. Next week, we're going to talk about a little bit more about statistics, about your statistics, and why a customer should buy from you. Remember, hit me up on my email, the number 10, Minute Sales Talk at hot.rr.com. And don't forget to go over to iTunes and give me that 5-star rating. I sure could use it. Remember, the sky's the limit. See you next week.